Congratulations with 65% of the vote. You are our pick me of the year. Hope that felt good.
4 more years, you won't have to vote anymore.
It is white men on this side of the aisle telling us that y'all are the ones being oppressed.
Take over, Elijah. Take over.
It was time to face down Goliath. And David, not the Vita.
You ain't worth a damn unless you vote the way we say you should vote.
Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and this is the latest edition of the Reese Waters Award Show. Now, in many respects, 2024 was the year of the pick me. We saw unprecedented pick me performances from all corners of the U.S. population. Now, first, a bit of a definition for a pick me. Here's the simple definition.
The pick me girl is the one that would do anything to catch a man's attention. They neglect what their boundaries are and what they care about just to try to get a man to want.
All morals out the door, just pick me.
Now, the easiest idea of a pick me that I can give you, the easiest example is, let's say that your man or your girlfriend, whatever the case may be, has a recent significant other. They've been dating for 3-4 months, and it's somebody who you happen to be interested in. However, on a particular weekend, that friend of yours happens to be out of town. What a pick me would do was use that opportunity to make the moves on said girlfriend or boyfriend, thereby shattering any sense of loyalty or friendship or dignity or pride they might have had or felt. Completely shameless behavior to benefit somebody who has shown little to no affinity or appreciation for you at all up to that point. And you know what? Even if they had, you have to weigh that against, that friendship and loyalty and dignity and pride that I just mentioned. Now, the biggest problem with that kind of behavior is not only have you shown yourself to be a completely shameless self-promoter and social climber, but you are enabling in the other person the kind of behavior that ensures you will never feel secure in that relationship. Show me a relationship that started when he or she had somebody else where you ever felt secure.
I have no idea who this woman is.
Is that Byron Donalds in the median? What's he doing with that McDonald's cup? The problem with pick me behavior is even if it's successful, that person can now treat you however they choose by virtue of how it was that you got together. Now, you can't have any conversation about pick me's in 2024 without starting with Latinos for Trump. Now, I don't know exactly who would be the worst offender here. Would it be the son of that family down in Texas who said that he liked the way that Donald Trump talked? He liked his plain folk rhetoric, even if it was in support of, I don't know, mass deportation?
Initially, I will say I did not agree with him. And then I started seeing that he was not afraid to speak his mind. And I noticed that he was not scared to say what he felt, regardless of what people would say. And I think I respect that about him.
Or was it his mama who came here illegally, but somehow feels she's, different than the illegals that are coming here now?
The people that are coming here are the criminals, The ones that did something bad in their country, they're running away from their law.
Oh, why is that? Oh, because she says that the illegals that are coming here now are committing crimes. Even though she knows people that have come in here illegally, and she's not worried about them because they're not committing any crimes.
Because the ones that I know, they're doing good. They're not breaking any law.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that she's believing the crime wave despite the fact that she actually knows people and they're not committing crimes? But not only is she going with that rhetoric, she's going to vote behind it. Then there was a dude who said, hopefully there's an exemption for family-oriented Latinos.
They need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family-oriented.
Oh yeah, there's an exemption, all right. It's called, y'all can all get it. Then there was a dude who said he wouldn't regret supporting Trump even if he's deported.
If you get deported, would you regret your support to Donald Trump?
No me arrepentiría.
He's saying that he wouldn't regret supporting Donald Trump.
I don't know what was worse, either him saying that or him saying that he supported Trump because of the economy. You know, the economy that drew him here and has kept him here up to this point.
So you support Donald Trump because of the economy?
For the economy, yes.
What about George Abrego, the guy who claimed that Kamala Harris was pandering for bothering to treat them like actual human beings, and said he identified with Trump?
I think the key word here is illegal, right? We're Americans. Latinos are Americans. We're not illegal. We voted for who we think will represent our best interests. We want safety. Latinos come here for the American dream. That American dream is disappearing. The past few years have been tough for our people, not just for Latinos, for everyone. We come here for the American dream. We want safety for our children. We want better futures for our family. We want education, and we see that dwindling away. Mm-hmm. So we voted for who we think is in our best interest. That would be Donald Trump. Latinos don't identify with Kamala Harris. You know, she's out there pandering and this and that. We're not with that. We're way past that.
Or could it be Christina Rodriguez who said, you know what, I'm still fumbling for the mouthpiece, trying to figure out what exactly it was that she said.
There is going to be a big fight. There's a big fight that's going to happen, and it's going to be to keep people here who are supposed to be here. If you're illegal and you're doing things that are against the law, you better be afraid. But people like myself, people like Cesar, we are going to help fight and make sure that the right people stay here, DACA stays here. It's still a fight for us, for our people.
Is that contradictory to the way you voted, though?
It's not contradictory, because it's just his opinion. What he wants, what he feels is right, is not always right. Just because you have a title doesn't make you smart. Just because you went to a certain school doesn't mean that you come from the best background. There's just people who just think a certain way, and there's people like us that have to show you that's not always the right way.
But I can tell you what she heard, though. She heard exactly what she needed to hear.
They played their little white card on election day, and they about to find out they're people of color.
I would like to actually go back to something I said earlier. I said the best example I can give you of a pick-me is that relationship scenario. Here might be a better one of an example of a pick-me. Here are the voting patterns in the 2024 election where Donald Trump saw unprecedented gains and actually won the Latino male vote. And here were the statements they made after the election, saying they're perfectly fine packing up whole families where there is mixed status.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Huh? Oh, the Black Magas? Yeah, the Black Magas were a problem, weren't they? They should get a whole nomination. They really should. I mean, the Black Magas was all out here. I mean, they're out here singing happy birthday to Donald Trump.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Trump. Happy birthday.
You had the 4 black people that showed up at that Detroit church in the Blacks for Trump event. Then you had the saddest thing ever. This Black Lives Maga chant in the Bronx.
Black exit the Democratic plantation mentality of thinking. And we're here to say that Black lives, Black lives, Black lives, Thank you very much, family.
But ultimately, I believe the worst example of Black Magism that I saw happened in Philadelphia. Make this make sense.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman, but she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America.
Oh, look, is that Carl Baxter? Hard to feel sorry for him. Black Trump supporter mocked online after claiming he was called a slave by the conservative group he was campaigning for. I wonder if he's learned his lesson yet. And while we're on the topic of Black MAGAs, I would be remiss if I didn't have a moment of silence for that brother that got the beats in Saginaw. And then had to tell his boys how it happened. Black MAGAs was so rampant in 2024 that they get individual nominations. Matter of fact, I'm just going ad-lib this one right here, because this woman right here who owned the MAGA store down in Virginia, she absolutely gets a nomination. Come on down, Joanne Price.
The point he's making simply is that she is not a black person.
He's our David. Maybe our David Ruffin. He ain't here to sing with the group. How about Rob Smith? He absolutely gets a nomination.
The DNC pretty much sent Obama out to start chastising black men for not being interested in Kamala Harris.
There was the impromptu therapy session that he had because he can't stand black women. His words, not mine.
All of these black women that are going to be telling black men that if they do not shut up and they do not get in line behind Kamala Harris, then they're all these sorts of things.
Claiming all this hate that black men are getting post-election, that's not my mentions, that's yours. Then there was the time he said that the liberals were done with black men.
Democrats and the left thought that it was a good idea to send a biracial black man, Barack Obama, his mother is white, his father is Kenyan, to lecture black American men who were born in this country to vote for a biracial black woman, Kamala Harris, whose father is Jamaican and mother is Indian.
Which is ironic considering looks like conservatives are done, if you ask me. I don't know how you could experience that and say the liberals are done with black men, but ultimately, I couldn't possibly shame Rob Smith more than he shamed himself.
So one of the main reasons this liberal meltdown after the Trump election seems to be endless is because they are figuring out that they are no longer cool. They are no longer cultural. You see, the left had a monopoly on culture for so long. We loved Hollywood and Kim Kardashian and all the movies and all of that stuff. But over the past decade, they've given us pronouns, pink hair, obesity, and a whole bunch of stuff that is very out of touch with what the majority of Americans agree with or want to see. So now Trump is in, and the new culture is conservatism. The new culture is the Trump dance on the football field. Like, the new culture is the boxer that was basically shouting out Trump. So now conservatives and Trump and all these people are now culture, and liberals cannot deal with it. That is why they are melting down. That is why the meltdown continues. And I believe that conservatives and Trump people and all of these things will be a cultural force for decades to come. We are now the cool kids. We are now the people that people want to emulate, want to be like, want to be as bold as us, want to be as fit as us, want to be as good looking as us. And also, we say all of the things that all of those phony fake libs were afraid to say.
We gonna keep the theme going. Harris Faulkner of Fox News, come on down. There was you being Trump's security blanket at NABJ over there kikiing while he thoroughly disrespected black journalists, black women especially.
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my goodness.
me, And I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That wasn't a question. She didn't ask me a question. She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your statement, sir, actually.
There was the fact that you came back to Fox News and lied about the experience, saying that he was being cheered. Like we didn't have video.
Tell us from your perspective, because it seemed hostile, but on the other hand, maybe I didn't hear the crowd right, and you can bring us in the room. I heard a lot of people cheering for Donald Trump. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, there were people who were, he's funny. So there were people who were listening closely enough to catch some of his humor and to laugh at that. There were a couple of times when people didn't like what he said. But at one point, when he was talking about inflation and how he would try to turn things around with drill baby drill and energy and really going after that sector and making things cheaper in that sector. We're in heat waves, we're in cold spells, we're in all those things, making living, cheaper to do with quality reserved. When he was going into all of that, apparently somebody in the front row, I couldn't see this woman, but apparently she was smiling, waving, doing something. He said, "Oh, okay, so you know what I'm talking about."
Right? She's agreeing to me. Oh, she's agreeing. Thank you. I like you very much.
Nah, they wasn't saying boo. They was saying boo Barron. They was boo Aaron. They was saying boo Aaron. That's what black people call Barron. They call him boo. Yeah, they call him boo. That's what that was. There was you on camera blatantly contradicting yourself about Kamala Harris working at McDonald's. Why even say anything?
But why isn't her campaign cleaning that up? Why isn't her campaign saying, look, this is a non-issue, here's a receipt or two, blah, 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 blah. She had to have paid taxes. She worked at McDonald's. I don't know. I just wonder why they're not cleaning it up.
But ultimately, you will only be a nominee. You cannot win Pick Me of the Year because you did check Donald Trump when he went with when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
But when you say they're trying to get rid of fossil fuels, the facts that the carpet doesn't match the drapes, brother. I mean, we've had historic.
Me?
Sorry, that was the wrong clip. Here's that clip.
When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Why those words?
So that's an expression I've heard over the years. And it
Do you know where it comes from?
I think Philadelphia, the mayor of Philadelphia,
It comes from 1967. I was about 18 months old at the time. Everybody's shooting Wiki because they probably got it wrong. But it was from the chief of police in Miami. He was cracking down, and he meant what he said. And he said, I don't even care if it makes it look like brutality, I'm going to crack down. When the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yeah.
Michaela Montgomery, come on down and get this nomination. You knew when you sat up there and screamed at the chicken spot, when you saw Donald Trump, you was gonna be nominated for Pick Me of the Year.
What the media tells you, Mr. Trump, we support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
This lady had the whole nerve to get on stage and try to go in on Kamala Harris and her relationships, talking about black families.
They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game.
Ain't you the same one who just said earlier that you are a single mother, correct? You are a single mother. So if somebody wanted to launch shameless attacks against you, that would be a place that they could go. But that would be out of bounds, right? That would be out of bounds. But this is what you decide to go with.
I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected.
I don't even need to go there because the exact same night, here's you with Donald Trump.
Hey, Michaela, I know you spoke. Just come up for a second. Come here. This young woman, I walked into, I don't know what the hell restaurant it was, but I walked into this restaurant. And we do it very quietly. We don't announce it. That's for, security reasons, everything. I walked in. She's behind the counter And she didn't know I was coming. And she goes, "It's President Trump." She looks at me, "It's President Trump. You saved my college." And I said, "How the hell do you know that?" She said, "You are, this one is so smart, so sharp." She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, "I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady."
You were supposed to keep that quiet.
You know we can see you, right? There has to be a connection to Candace Owens with that one. Oh, there he is. Oh, Candace Owens birthed her?
What is Blexit?
I would say Blexit is a re-education for the minority community. It's just a re-education program, and trying to undo what the left has done, the spell that the left has cast on minorities to think that we're somehow separate from the American dream.
Well, you knew Candace was getting a nomination. Candace Owens, come on down. Matter of fact, we should probably go ahead and name this after Candace. This is Candace Owens Memorial Pick-Me of the Year. I'm gonna have to do a vote on that on the community tab. Here's how Candace Owens came into the year.
The day after January 6th, I was like, this is it's complete setup by the FBI.
But she somehow found a way to elevate her pick-me profile. There was her reaction to what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. I mean, there wasn't a single kind of merch that she ain't had for sale. There was her getting in on the Amber Rose mess.
And I don't want to get beat up by the Republicans. I'm already getting beat up enough by the left.
You're basically,
give me a break.
You're in political purgatory. It's the worst. Because when you
sure.
leave, you're like, I've escaped. Then when you arrive, you're like, whoa, hold up. Like, I don't know. I know I'm not perfect. I'm getting everything wrong, and you're being screamed at by the right, and it sucks.
There was the Don Lemon fiasco.
My question to you is, and because people think that you are you anti-Semitic?
No, I'm not anti-Semitic.
Go on.
Go on with what? You asked me a question, I answered it.
You said
I don't need to launch into defense of myself because I'm just not anti-Semitic. There's nothing that I hear that I need to add. I guess today anti-Semitism, the definition keeps expanding, and now I guess it means if you don't fall over yourself every time Bibi Netanyahu speaks, they're just going to call you an anti-Semite. Nope, I'm a Christian. Kids being bombed is upsetting to me, and I have a right to say that without being called an anti-Semite. And if you want to call me an anti-Semite for it, I simply don't care.
There was you divorcing from the Church of Science?
You have to get all these shots for your kids, but we can't let you read the studies unless you pay us $150 to see where the genesis of this. Yeah. It's nuts. And the more that I got into it and I realized they've been controlling the diagnostic conditions, they have been manipulating numbers. And when I just show parents these charts, like there is this idea talking about how powerful of a tool fear is. And my favorite one is tetanus. The parents know nothing. My husband and I got together. I'm like, we're not vaccinating our kids. And he's like, what? Well, we have to do tetanus, of course. Polio and tetanus are the ones that there's like this ingrained fear.
Yeah. That confused me. I thought she had divorced from the black church, but apparently they were never married. Yeah, they had no relationship whatsoever. She did try and send a big head text and slide back into the black community. We all saw that.
She's gonna sing
in
it.
West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days.
Okay.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys, they were up to no good, started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight.
Y'all didn't think she knew that one. Y'all didn't think she knew that one.
Finish this response. God is good.
God is good. Amen.
But ultimately, her anti-blackness could not stay buried for long. It's kind of like Venom taking over. She attacked everybody from LeBron.
She was collecting blackmail over various people that were in Hollywood. And so, like I said, we're at the beginning. We're scratching the surface of this scandal. There are some more big names that are going to have to answer for it. And I think also the silence of certain individuals like LeBron James is quite deafening. A person who claims to care so much about Black life, Black Lives Matter, on the ground, taking a kneel. Okay, that's fine. But now you have a friend of yours who has been on camera beating a Black woman. Okay, you said nothing when that happened.
To Sonia Massey. Yeah.
As I have said since the beginning of time, there are mistakes that police officers are human beings. There are mistakes that happen.
But ultimately, there's nothing I can say about Candace Owens that wasn't communicated by the Daily Wire.
There is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. Obviously, there was a non-meeting of the minds. That's pretty much all I can say on this. Daily Wire has a very strong editorial position on a wide variety of issues. And by the way, I should say that, there are a lot of people who are suggesting this is about disagreements over Israel. I mean, I can safely say it is not about disagreements over Israel to the extent that without reference to Candace at all here, Matt Walsh has taken the position that America ought not be involved in the Middle East at all. That's just a pure isolationist position. I disagree with it. I think it's wrong. I think that it's short-sighted. But again, he's on our platform. That is well within the range of acceptable discourse at the Daily Wire.
And YouTube.
So Candace Owens announced she was suspended from YouTube for a week after interview with Kanye West, which YouTube removed for violating hate speech policies by promoting anti-Semitic claims, specifically that Jewish people control the media.
And Australia.
The audience understands what the reason is. We all know what actually happened in Australia. What happened in Australia is really kind of has been in the story of this year, which is that I am not comfortable with the amount of death that is taking place in Palestine.
And New Zealand.
New Zealand has denied conservative media personality Candace Owens a visa for her planned February and March 2025 speaking tour. The decision follows Australia's cancellation of her visa in October, citing her potential to incite discord. New Zealand cited a rule barring entry to those excluded from other countries.
Megyn Kelly, why don't you come on down? Yeah, we got a little something for you, Megyn Kelly. Yeah, just this nomination for Pick Me of the Year. Come on down. I'm sorry, is this you out here slut-shaming Kamala Harris when you have already gone on record as that is something you feel like was a detriment to your career and really angers you? Is that was you? That was you.
I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut-shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power.
Although I will be mad too if they saying that Brit Hume got it in. I mean, really, I pick anybody. There was your reaction to Joe Biden.
So fuck you, Joe Biden.
There's your reaction to Taylor Swift.
F you, Taylor Swift.
There's your reaction to Caitlin Clark.
Here's how you know it's totally insincere. Because if Caitlin Clark really felt uncomfortable in the spotlight as the newbie who's white, because white people didn't build the league, she wouldn't have said yes to being Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. So either walk the walk or don't.
But one of the things that stuck with me was your reaction to MSG.
Trump was not well served by those around him last night. It wasn't a Nazi rally. All that's nonsense. But I'm telling you, even for me, and I voted for Donald Trump last week, it was too brotastic.
Because Lord knows that's not who the party is. Oh no, y'all just love women. So why y'all going out there acting like that when y'all know that y'all love women to such a degree? Oh, word?
Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again.
This might be the most competitive race that we will have this year. I'm gonna put a poll on the community tab for who you guys think should be Pick Me of the Year. Oh, and would you look at that? Defeating Candace Owens at 20, Michaela Montgomery at 8, Megyn Kelly at 7. Congratulations with 65% of the vote. Latinos for Trump. You are our Pick Me of the Year. It's funny they got to 65, like they got over 50% of the vote, like the Latino men voting for Trump. Hope that felt good.